In the heart of Hatton Garden, amidst the gleam of gold bars and the pristine surfaces of glass-encased designer watches, lay an unassuming jewelry shop. This establishment, however, was no ordinary purveyor of luxury. Behind its polished facade, hidden from the unsuspecting eyes of city traders and wandering tourists, lurked a shadowy underworld where the currency of choice was not sterling or dollars, but rather the warm, illicit notes of the drug trade. The clientele was a far cry from the usual patrons of such establishments. Traffickers, intermediaries, and couriers frequented the shop, their hands stained with the grime of the streets, their pockets heavy with encrypted phones. Officially, every transaction was meticulously clean, recorded on paper with the precision of a jeweler's loupe. Yet beneath the surface, a torrent of drug money flowed, laundered, cleansed, and reinvested with the dexterity of a seasoned financier. At the epicenter of this clandestine operation were two enigmatic figures unknown to the jewelry district's denizens. Matthew Bion, a man of serene calculation, resided in the tranquil enclave of Sevenoaks. His demeanor was one of quiet composure, a facade that belied the storm he orchestrated from his discreet haven. Devlin, his partner, was the younger, more audacious counterpart, forged in the crucible of East London's gritty streets. Together they constructed a cocaine empire valued at nearly £119 million, channeling vast quantities of Class A drugs into the United Kingdom and laundering the proceeds through a labyrinth of gold, firearms, and phantom corporations. They operated under the illusion of invisibility, shielded by encrypted communications and untraceable networks. Yet their digital fortress was not impervious. As the encrypted messages unraveled, so too did their empire, culminating in the dramatic breach of their concealed world. This is the saga of Matthew Bion and Devlin, architects of a cocaine syndicate that transformed ordinary commodities into instruments of power and wealth. Bion defied the archetype of the ostentatious drug lord. He eschewed the trappings of excess, opting instead for the understated life in Sevenoaks, a town synonymous with serenity, not syndicates. In his 40s, Bion projected the image of a man with a methodical plan, his lifestyle marked by subtlety rather than spectacle. He possessed a Jaguar, was constructing a residence adjacent to his familial home, and maintained a veneer of normalcy. Online, however, Bion assumed different identities: Slick Valley, official cleaner, aliases that thrived on EncroChat, the encrypted network that traffickers revered. It was within this digital realm that Bion orchestrated his operations, coordinating shipments, laundering profits, and managing a web of contacts that spanned continents. He was not the one toiling with crates or maneuvering lorries. Rather, he was the architect, a cold and clinical strategist, his efficiency matched only by his ruthlessness. Devlin, at 33, was the junior conspirator. His upbringing in East London had honed him for the chaos, a life where he thrived amidst the clamor. Known by the alias Scalp Cleaner, Devlin was hands-on, adept at moving whatever the empire required. He ferried gold to the Hatton Garden jeweler, disposed of counterfeit banana shipments when their utility waned, and managed substantial cash transfers, sometimes in increments of £100,000. Despite their disparate origins, Bion and Devlin shared a formidable skill: silence. Their operations were devoid of the sensationalism that often accompanies such enterprises. There were no territorial disputes, no bloodshed. By the time their network was dismantled, they had transcended the role of mere dealers. They were importers, launderers, and suppliers, seamlessly integrated with South American producers. Their communications were not mired in the minutiae of ounces or kilos. They conversed in the language of tons. In the end, these two names, barely whispers on the streets, crafted an empire that thrived in the shadows. Their story is a testament to the duality of existence, where the quietest voices can orchestrate the loudest echoes, and the most unassuming facades can conceal the most audacious ambitions. In the shadows of global commerce, an intricate web of illicit activities unfolded, revealing a clandestine empire that thrived on the movement of cocaine across continents. The architects of this network were not mere intermediaries, they were the very wholesalers of South American cocaine, dealing in quantities that transcended the illicit drug trade of the United Kingdom. These men operated on a scale that was both audacious and meticulously calculated. Through the encrypted communication platform known as EncroChat, the orchestrators of this operation discussed deals that eclipsed the ambitions of most criminal networks within the UK. The figures they exchanged were staggering: 5 tons, sometimes even more. Between March and June of the tumultuous year of 2020, they were actively plotting the importation of approximately 5 tons of cocaine through various European ports, including those not publicly disclosed. The cocaine embarked on its journey from Colombia or Ecuador, ingeniously concealed beneath the guise of legitimate produce. This was logistics masquerading as commerce. The routes were established, meticulously mapped, and rigorously tested. Photographs captured on the phones of those involved revealed lorries stationed at the Colombia-Ecuador border, their cargo under the scrutiny of customs officials. These images were not mere exchanges, they were vivid snapshots from the field, evidence of a well-oiled operation in motion. Upon reaching European shores, the shipments continued their clandestine journey into the United Kingdom. The cocaine was often fragmented, rerouted, and concealed within consignments designed to seamlessly blend into the flow of legitimate goods. From sprawling seaports to the intricate web of motorways, the product moved silently, tracked only by encrypted communication and a lexicon of coded language. The network, orchestrated by Burns, was robust. Every link in the chain was accounted for: source, transit, arrival, storage. Burns possessed an intimate knowledge of bottlenecks, weak points, and precise timings, crafting a symphony of logistics that transcended mere commerce. Devlin, one of Burns's trusted operatives, adhered to orders with precision. His communications, however, betrayed a familiarity with the intricate system. References to delivery timings, weight calculations, and cost breakdowns painted a picture of a man deeply enmeshed in the machinery of this illicit trade. A single shipment bore a staggering cost of £3 million for 600 kilos, a testament to the purity and unadulterated nature of the cocaine. This was no diluted product. It was raw, uncut, high-purity cocaine, sourced directly from the heart of the trade. On the streets, once the cocaine was divided and diluted, its value multiplied exponentially. This was not the construction of a business. It was the operation of a pipeline, a continuous flow that persisted unbroken for nearly 8 years. The shipments were unassuming, devoid of telltale signs. There were no secret compartments or false bottoms. Instead, there were bananas. Pallets of fruit arrived in tons, each manifest appearing routine and unremarkable. Yet, beneath the layers of yellow skins lay blocks of cocaine meticulously wrapped and sealed. To facilitate this operation, the network constructed elaborate facades, shell companies complete with names, addresses, and VAT numbers. These paper entities were crafted to transport goods, evade customs scrutiny, and maintain the invisibility of the true network. The methodology extended beyond concealment. It was a process of trial and error. Dummy runs consisting of entire banana consignments devoid of drugs were dispatched to test the integrity of the route. If a clean load successfully navigated the path. These tests, however, were far from economical. A single run could cost upwards of £300,000, a sum that was ultimately consumed, quite literally, in the flames of their operation. Yet, for those who orchestrated this vast undertaking, the rewards far outweighed the risks. In the end, it was not mere commerce they pursued, but the mastery of a complex system, a testament to the lengths humanity will go to in the pursuit of power and profit. In the shadowy corridors of illicit trade, where legality is but a fleeting whisper, the tale of a clandestine operation unfolds, a sophisticated dance of deception and precision. The narrative begins with the unsellable bananas, a metaphor for contraband that could not find its way through lawful avenues. In a decisive move, Byrne, a pivotal figure in this underworld, ordered Devlin to incinerate the pallets, ensuring that no remnants lingered, no trace remained. Yet not all transactions were as straightforward as consigning goods to fire. In the underbelly of this operation, Byrne spoke of vehicles transformed into instruments of smuggling, ordinary cars refashioned with hidden compartments, expertly integrated into the very fabric of the vehicle. These were the creations of the enigmatic plug boss, a master craftsman whose work turned hatchbacks into covert carriers of illicit cargo. Drivers entrusted with these modified vehicles were handsomely compensated, earning £50,000 per journey, each transporting approximately 250 kilograms of contraband. The compartments were masterpieces of concealment, sealed with precision, their presence undetectable without a thorough dismantling of the car. Every journey was a meticulous orchestration, a test of timing, resolve, and mutual trust. For years, this intricate system operated seamlessly. No alarms, no interceptions, only a continuous flow of narcotics in and cash out. Parallel to this vehicular subterfuge, another layer of deception unfolded within the bustling heart of London's jewelry district, Hatton Garden. Here, gold appeared legitimate, meticulously stamped, weighed, and sold through a seemingly innocuous shop. On paper, the transactions were pristine, yet in reality they were the facade of an elaborate money laundering scheme, one of the most effective in the United Kingdom. At the helm of this operation was Chris O'Shea, a jeweler by trade, a financier by necessity. Known in encrypted circles as All-Star Jing, O'Shea was more than a shopkeeper. He was the financial linchpin of Bion and Devlin's empire. His establishment on Avery Hill Road in New Eltham became the epicenter of a laundering process that turned street money into gold bars and designer watches, assets that could be discreetly stored, sold, or flaunted without arousing suspicion. Bion, a key player in this operation, dealt not in trifles but in vast sums, moving hundreds of thousands of pounds in a single transaction. He acquired 10 to 15 gold bars at once, each with a price tag of approximately £40,000. Photographic evidence later revealed his collection, a shimmering array of bullion, a digital testament to laundered affluence. O'Shea's commission was a modest 3%, yet the payoff was invaluable, clean, untraceable currency, ready to be reintegrated into the financial ecosystem. When investigators eventually pieced together the threads of this operation, they uncovered not mere tax evasion or illicit cash deals, but a sprawling multi-million-pound enterprise. Each gram of gold was inexorably linked to a block of cocaine, yet for years this intricate web remained invisible. The shop continued its operations, gold flowed unimpeded, and the money whispered its secrets to no one. However, cocaine and gold were but fragments of Matthew Beer's portfolio. Hidden beneath the surface was a trade in firearms, a venture conducted with equal stealth. These weapons were not advertised but offered to a select clientele through the same encrypted networks that facilitated drug transactions. Communications revealed discussions of self-loading pistols, compact rapid-fire weapons and silencers, instruments of silent lethality, designed for the clandestine conflicts of the criminal underworld. Among Beer's clientele was Jody Hall, known in encrypted communications as Unbeaten Moose, a 51-year-old from Bromley. To ensure the integrity of every deal, Bion employed a third party, a figure known only as the Boxer, adding yet another layer of intrigue to this complex tapestry of crime. In this world where shadows dance with light and legality is a mere construct, the operations of Bion, Devlin, and their cohorts illustrate a profound truth, that beneath the veneer of society's order lies a parallel universe governed by its own rules, where every transaction is a gamble and every player walks a tightrope stretched across the abyss of lawlessness. In the shadowy underworld of clandestine operations, where each transaction is a dance of shadows, every weapon, every deal is meticulously scrutinized. This was the world of Bion, where nothing was left to chance. Each weapon was physically inspected with an unwavering eye before any exchange was made. It was a process marked by precision and professionalism, a testament to the intricate ballet of illegal arms dealing. Yet in July of 2020, a tremor shook this underworld. Jody Hall, a key player, was apprehended while retrieving one of Bion's meticulously vetted weapons. The arrest was not just a setback, it was a revelation. It exposed the network's vulnerabilities and the inherent risks of their shadowy enterprise. For Bion, the arrest was an ominous sign, a harbinger of exposure that threatened to unravel the carefully woven tapestry of his operations. Swift and audacious, he communicated with his contacts, outlining a bold plan to liberate Hall from custody. This was no armchair theorizing, it was a detailed blueprint. Bion claimed intimate knowledge of the officers assigned to guard Hall, whether they would be in plain clothes or uniformed, and boasted of associates who had executed similar feats before. Despite the audacity of the plan, it never advanced beyond encrypted messages. Hall, facing the gravity of his situation, pleaded guilty to charges of firearms and drug offenses and received a 12-year sentence in 2020. Yet the mere existence of such a plan illustrated the lengths to which Bion was prepared to go to maintain the integrity of his criminal network. His empire was not merely a business, it was a machine fueled by the relentless pursuit of profit and power, safeguarded by a willingness to employ extreme measures. As the law closed in, Bion's operations continued unabated. Cocaine shipments were coordinated with precision, cash flowed through the labyrinthine pathways of Hatton Garden, and money was laundered with the deftness of a seasoned illusionist. But beneath the surface, the pressure was mounting and time was slipping away. By October of 2020, the network had begun to fracture. The once seemingly impervious structure was showing signs of strain. The cracks, though, were only the beginning of the end. Slowly, piece by piece, the empire began to crumble. Hatton Garden jeweler who had transformed illicit wealth into legitimate assets. A coordinated raid by the National Crime Agency and organized crime partnership teams laid bare the operations at his premises. His shop, a facade of respectability, was searched, and the paper trail meticulously unraveled. O'Shea's arrest was a stark contrast to the dramatic narratives of crime dramas. There were no high-speed chases or last-minute escapes. Instead, it was a quiet affair. At his home on Avery Hill Road in New Eltham, O'Shea was taken into custody without resistance, a man caught in the web of his own making. Inside his shop and residence, investigators uncovered the telltale signs of his illicit activities, transactions and deals that painted a picture of a laundering hub at the heart of a sprawling 190 million pound empire. O'Shea, once a master of deception, found his gilded world collapsing around him. In January 2024, he faced justice at Maidstone Crown Court, where he pleaded guilty to money laundering and drug offenses, receiving an 11-year sentence. The downfall of O'Shea was not a stroke of luck nor a mere coincidence. It was the culmination of Operation Venetic, a seismic event in the world of organized crime. When authorities cracked EncroChat, the encrypted messaging platform favored by criminals across Europe, the veil of secrecy was lifted. Messages once thought secure were laid bare, aliases were matched to real identities, and the once invincible empire of Bion was exposed to the light of day. In this intricate dance between law and crime, the collapse of Bion's network serves as a poignant reminder of the impermanence of power built on foundations of deceit. As the shadows recede, what remains is a testament to the relentless pursuit of justice and the inevitable unraveling of even the most meticulously constructed criminal enterprises. In the hushed corridors of justice where shadows conspire and secrets unravel, a meticulous operation unfolded, orchestrated with the precision of a symphony. The architects of this clandestine pursuit, a formidable alliance of the National Crime Agency and the Metropolitan Police, moved with stealth. Their quarry was not merely a man, but the intricate web he had spun. a criminal empire built on whispers and shadows. The name at the center of their operation was Matthew Bion. For 7 weeks, the detectives had traced his every step, deciphered his every message until the moment came to strike. The facade of his home betrayed nothing of the chaos within. Yet as officers crossed the threshold, the truth lay bare, a hidden world of affluence and audacity. 20,000 pounds in cash, carelessly stashed in a drawer, spoke volumes of illicit dealings. Bank slips hinted at clandestine wealth, while a pristine Jaguar testified to a lifestyle beyond legitimate means. The blinking light of an Encrochat handset, a relic of his empire, flickered with silent secrets. Their pursuit led them further to the residence of Bion's girlfriend. Here, subtlety was abandoned. The door, reinforced against intrusion, was a testament to their forethought. Within, officers uncovered a trove of luxury: designer clothes, Gucci bags, and brochures for Portuguese villas, a whisper of plans to escape, to fade into the horizon when the tides turned. The investigation's tendrils reached yet another lair, the residence of Bion's parents. Here, a taser, forbidden by the laws of the land, lay concealed, alongside documents bearing the name of Devlin, an accomplice, and a link that bound their fates tighter than any chain. Devlin's own dwelling, unguarded by gates or alarms, revealed a narrative of its own. 5,000 pounds in cash, poised for movement, lingered as a subtle sign of illicit intent. Nearby, a surveillance bug detector lay, an artifact of paranoia, a tool for a man who feared the eyes and ears of justice. Close by, CS spray, an aggressive deterrent, hinted at a readiness for confrontation. His wardrobe, a testament to indulgence, brimmed with designer trainers, opulent watches, and labels that whispered of wealth beyond ordinary reach. The evidence was never hidden, for in their arrogance they believed themselves untouchable, shielded by the secrecy of Encrochat. Yet the inevitable moment arrived. The door of their deception was torn from its hinges, and the empire they had built crumbled into evidence. Gold, firearms, ghost companies, all were laid bare, transformed from symbols of power into instruments of their downfall. By the dawn of 2025, the case against Matthew Bion and Devlin was a fortress of facts and figures. Years of surveillance had peeled back the layers of their operation, revealing encrypted messages, photographs, asset records, and seized cash. Together, these elements painted a portrait of a sophisticated criminal enterprise, one that had smuggled untold quantities of cocaine and laundered millions in currency. Their day of reckoning arrived at Maidstone Crown Court. On the 9th of January 2025, both men stood before the court, their pleas of guilt echoing in the chamber. Matthew Bion, then 44, confessed to crimes of cocaine importation and money laundering. The specter of firearms charges loomed, left dormant but ever present, a shadow over his future. Devlin, age 33, similarly admitted to drug trafficking and money laundering offenses. The silence of their defense spoke louder than words, an admission of the overwhelming weight of evidence against them. In the end, their story is a cautionary tale of ambition and downfall, a reminder of the delicate balance between power and justice. As the echoes of their empire fade, we are left to ponder the eternal dance between law and lawlessness, and the inexorable truth that even the most intricate webs cannot escape the light of day. Amidst the shadows of clandestine operations and encrypted communications, two men emerged as pivotal architects of a vast criminal enterprise. Collected during the extensive Operation Venetic, the prosecution, spearheaded by the Organized Crime Partnership, a formidable coalition of the National Crime Agency and the Metropolitan Police, unveiled a web of illicit activities that spanned continents. Matthew Bion and Devlin were depicted as the masterminds of a transnational network, orchestrating the movement of substantial cocaine shipments from South America through European gateways. Evidence presented in court included discussions of £3 million consignments, decoy operations, and the transformation of illegal proceeds into opulent gold bars and high-end designer watches. On the 7th of March, 2025, justice was meted out. Matthew Bion received a sentence of 21 years and 6 months, while Devlin was sentenced to 17 years. Together, these figures of the underworld were consigned to a total of 38.5 years in prison. Once shielded by the anonymity of encrypted screens and fictitious corporate facades, they now confront the stark reality of incarceration. This case raises profound questions about the weight of justice and the magnitude of their crimes. Did the sentences truly reflect the enormity of their deeds, or should their confinement have been more severe, given the extensive reach and impact of their operations? As the gavel fell, the world pondered the balance between crime and consequence, a reflection on the relentless pursuit of justice in a world where shadows and light are perpetually intertwined.